If I knew what I'm about to go over in this video at the start of my art journey, it could have saved me months, maybe even years worth of painful struggle. I'll be providing what I didn't have at the start of my art journey, which is a comprehensive roadmap detailing all the levels you will need to master in order to reach the goal of becoming an art god, along with all the crucial mistakes that many artists make on their art journeys. We start here from the very basics, and yet 90% of people get this section wrong. And without learning and practicing the most foundational aspect of art correctly, it can be quite painful to get the other aspects of art correct later on in the future. The mistake that the majority of artists, especially beginner artists, make at this stage is using their wrists to draw. Specifically, only using their wrists to draw. The reason that most professional artists recommend beginners not to just use their wrists to draw is because the range of motion you have with your wrists is far smaller than if you used your elbow or your shoulder or a combination of all three. Once you develop your muscle control with your elbows and shoulders, you'll have a much greater success at drawing long, flowy, smooth lines, which is a skill that's pretty foundational to art. There are many line drawing exercises we can do in order to train our line control and practice using our whole arm to draw. Here are some of my favorite ones on screen, and a piece of advice that very few artists mention at this stage is to play around with the pressure sensitivity curves and the stabilization settings if you're on digital, as these settings can really have quite a dramatic effect. Once you can confidently draw the lines that you want, then it is time to move on to the next stage. This stage directly follows the previous one, and again, is absolutely vital to get correct before moving on. We've all heard the advice of practicing drawing cubes and cylinders when we get started with drawing, but most people get this part wrong, including my past self. Lots of people just end up mindlessly spamming cubes and cylinders down. But we need to consider what is the whole point of this stage, and that is to build your understanding of 3D forms, allowing you to be able to convincingly draw 3D objects and to be able to orientate objects in the three-dimensional world. So a better way of practicing this stage would be to systematically draw the cubes. We do this by drawing them with slight rotations from each other, and then forming this neat line where each is slightly rotated. We can do the same type of exercise with cylinders. This really trains your ability to be able to rotate 3D forms. If you can rotate cubes and cylinders in 3D, then you can rotate heads in 3D as well, and bodies and buildings. This is why practicing this is so important, because it truly forms the foundations of creating art. Now that we are able to consistently draw shapes and forms in 3D, the next step should be clear. Of course, this is to learn to shade in 3D, but what you should not do is jump straight into shading with color. Instead, it is best for us to start in grayscale. Shading in grayscale first is much better than shading with color, because it allows us to see precisely the values that we use. Lots of beginner artists make the mistake of jumping straight into color first, which can be quite overwhelming and is much harder to paint correctly. Not only is it much harder to paint correctly, but when you paint something wrong anatomically, it is much harder to recognize and pinpoint the mistake. This will greatly inhibit your ability to learn and improve. Not learning how to paint in grayscale is one of the biggest mistakes that beginner and intermediate artists make, and is what prevents them from leveling up to the advanced stage. And instead, they often get stuck here, drawing or painting things that look pretty decent, and yet there's still just something off about the artwork. Now we get to one of the hardest parts of art, and one that is truly built on top of all the previous stages, and this is color theory. Color theory isn't what you think it is. It isn't just about these wacky color wheels with their fancy names and picking colors based on some mysterious rules. It's about understanding how light in the real world interacts with objects. You should be able to break colors down into their hue, saturation, and value just by looking at them. The most important one to master would be value, as evident from the previous stage. This is because, realistically, value is all you need for a good drawing, since the drawings are simply paintings without saturation or hues. The next most important component of a color would likely be saturation, since controlling it properly is vital to prevent skin from looking weird or landscapes from looking unrealistic. In addition, you should be able to understand how color and light interact with 3D forms. This is simply one extra level on top of the previous stage, since if we understand how light interacts with 3D forms in grayscale, then there's only a few additional things we need to know when we add color into the mix. You'll need to learn how to utilize things like subsurface scattering and the atmospheric perspective effect. Choosing the right colors can really make or break a painting. Now, this is a big mistake that I regret making on my art journey, which is that I never color picked from my reference images. This is a very powerful way to quickly learn color harmony and how light interacts with objects. Especially when you just start, you'll constantly be shocked at how the colors aren't what you thought they were. This exercise quickly trains your eyes to be able to see what the actual color is and builds an intuitive understanding of color theory. You'll be able to see the actual applications of color theory put into master's artworks. And in terms of a specific way to learn color theory, this course here was immensely valuable to me, and you can find it from today's sponsor, Skillshare. Before we get to this course, for those that don't already know, Skillshare is perfect for any artists that are serious about leveling up their art game. And not just their art game. Skillshare is full of thousands of courses ranging from business to life skills to productivity and much more, all taught by professionals in their industries. And this course here about color theory went over essentially all the most important aspects of how to master using colors, from using neutrals to color temperature to reflective surfaces and much more. And guess what? The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1 month of free trial of Skillshare. So why not give it a try? So far in this video, every stage has been vital no matter what type of artist you want to become. But now at this final stage, here is where you can pick which path you would like to specialize in. No matter what style of characters you want to draw, whether you want to draw realism, semi-realism, anime or cartoon, manhwa or manga, all of these styles will require you to learn anatomy, which can be a big, scary topic for some artists. But it's really not that bad. The biggest tip I have for this stage would be to just learn what you need to as you progress. You could just start with the anatomy of the head, and then you can progress onto the body. If you want to learn dynamic poses, learn that. If you want to draw big muscles, learn that. It'll be too much to learn everything at once. Naturally, the other path you can choose would be one where you don't draw characters at all, and instead you just draw sceneries. For this, you will need to learn the skills of composition and further refine your skills in 3D shapes and color theory. In terms of composition, you should at least be aware of some of the basic composition outlines, such as the ones shown here. In terms of practicing sceneries, I would recommend you to just do a bunch of quick studies. Just rapidly going through a bunch of sceneries, perhaps 15 minutes each. Quick exercises like this will allow you to quickly start to recognize patterns and learn what looks good and what looks bad on an intuitive level. But before you start your art journey, you need to know how to actually take notes and keep track of the things you learn throughout your journey. And I'll be going over a very special tool for this in this video here, which should hopefully release soon. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.